Hello, pumpkins. I wanted to talk to you today about the Love Has Won CULT. Now, I can't say that word on YouTube or it will get me demonetized, but I am fascinated by CULTs. If you're new to my channel, welcome. We talk about tarot, magic, druidry, and social issues. I would love to have you on board, so please consider subscribing and hitting the bell, although notifications have been iffy lately. I found out about this group probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it really fascinated me, and I started doing some Google searches and YouTube searches and finding some information, and was really taken aback by how extreme these people were. So if you're not familiar, Love Has Won was a group or still is a group, based in Creston, Colorado. They had moved to Hawaii for a short period of time, but were politely asked to leave after many protests, and they also have ties to Mount Shasta in California. The leader of the Love Has Won CULT referred to herself as Mother God, also preferring to be called Mum. Her real name was Amy Carlson, and she very clearly had some issues. She left her family and 2 children and job as a manager at McDonald's and decided that this was now her reality. It does seem like there was some delusions going on. Of course, I'm not in any position to diagnose her. She started off as being very love and light, very new agey, and as she had some chronic pain, she continued to consume alcohol excessively and would have, when I say 9 vodkas, these aren't like a shot of vodka in a glass of orange juice and have a screwdriver. This was like a glass of vodka. And would consume that daily. There have also been rumors that even though she was very anti-drug, that there was some methamphetamine use with her spiritual practice. She would become irate and become abusive to her followers. She referred to anyone who was an unbeliever as WHORE. And would go on these yelling tirades. There's famous footage of her becoming abusive to one of her followers who brought her chicken parmesan, or who brought her meatballs for dinner instead of chicken parmesan. Very erratic behavior. She started to become thinner and thinner, and she said that she had stage 5 cancer when she was featured on the Dr. Phil show. As far as I am aware, in my almost 20 years of healthcare work, that only goes up to stage 4. So what was going on there? She'd claimed to be paralyzed and claimed that she needed someone to take her to the washroom to complete her activities of daily living and elimination and showering and all that stuff. It was unsure if that was malingering or if that was true. She also started to develop a very purplish type of complexion in her end days. It was discovered a few weeks ago that she had passed away, and her followers are calling this ascension. She was found in the home of one of the followers. Essentially, 7 of the followers showed up at a guy's house. Another one of the followers, he needed to leave to run some errands. He came back and there was a body in his back room. Reports are saying that she was mummified, but mummification doesn't necessarily refer to being wrapped up. It refers to being preserved, often being desiccated, i.e. dried out. And she was wrapped in a sleeping bag and Christmas lights with her eyes missing and glitter on her eyes. So she was decorated in glittery makeup. And some are considering the sleeping bag and the Christmas lights to be mummification, but it's really not mummification. 7 members of the group were charged with I can't remember the exact charge, but essentially desecrating desiccating human remains, or not desiccating. It's drying out. I will find the exact charge and put it in the description below. But yeah, doing bad things to human remains. So they were jailed for that and awaiting trial, and they were also charged with ABUSE of a 2-year-old and a 13-year-old. The 2-year-old was the son of the homeowner who'd gone out to run some errands, and they wouldn't give him back his kid. And there was also a 13-year-old who was with the group. The 13-year-old has been placed in custody of the state, and the 2-year-old has been returned to his father. My thoughts on this. I think it's weird that I probably discovered this online story, this group, about the same time that that Amy ascended, because she was apparently the remains were probably like close to a month old, and that was 2 weeks ago. So 6 weeks ago is about when I started looking into this. So I think that's kind of a weird coincidence. There have been some speculations about what might happen to the followers of this group, and I follow a lot of CULTs and follow a lot of stories and histories, and the stereotype is that middle-aged white women like pumpkin spice lattes and serial killer documentaries. For me, it's CULT documentaries, which I don't know why I can say serial killer, but I can't say CULT, but blame YouTube. So Rick Alan Ross has talked about that this group may just end up disbanding and petering out, and the members may be poached or preyed upon by other destructive groups. And this it's quite possibly a reality if the members don't feel that they can go back to their families. So Rick Alan Ross did talk about on the Dr. Phil show how the group family members should be continuing to reach out to the people to hopefully welcome them back home and get them some treatment and get them some therapy. There have been some speculation and concerns, which I think are valid, about possibly the group taking a page from Heaven's Gate or from the Solar Temple and doing a mass group taking of their lives. Again, I can't say that S word. And I think this is a real concern, but my concern isn't something that I have heard mentioned, and I think that this is my biggest concern. So, groups that are run by men are different than groups that are run by women. And in groups that are run by women, it's not unusual for there to be, like, consorts that are men that serve the leader. But it tends to be more about power, and it tends to be more about violence when it comes to women. Because of Mother God's state, I should just call her Amy. I don't recognize her as a deity. Because of her state, physically she wasn't really able to be violent to someone, but she certainly was controlling in terms of sleep deprivation and food intake, and what they were and were not allowed to do. She certainly was abusive verbally and emotionally. Again, I can't say the A word, so this is probably going to get demonetized. So I'm just going to say the CULT word from now on, and we'll see what happens. So what has transpired? There have been several father gods who Amy has appointed over the years, and the current father god seems to have taken leadership of the group and is even more aggressive than Amy was. So I am concerned that he is taking over this group, and Love Has Won will now become his cult instead of just Amy's Love Has Won cult. When group is run by men, there tends to be a lot more SA than there is in female-run cults. Not to say that women don't abuse that power, because women absolutely do, but it tends to be more of a hallmark of groups run by men. So I am concerned that this group now, under the control of, I believe his name is Castillo, Mr. Castillo, is going to take a very toxic, very sexual turn, and that the group is going to be now continuing and possibly even growing with Amy made into some sort of martyr, and the reverberation of her continuing, but now also having this aspect. And Mr. Castillo is physically fit, looks like physically able, so I don't know if he's going to start becoming physically abusive because he is able to, whereas Amy could not. This is a real concern. There doesn't seem to be a disbanding of the group. It seems to be getting tighter and stronger, which concerns me a lot. I don't think that the 7 people who were charged with indignity to the human body, or whatever charge it was, I don't think that that's going to fly. The child abuse charges may, but Colorado has some of the most liberal laws on what you can do for funerals, what you can do for a body, and I think that they are going to plead some sort of religious freedom in how they treated the corpse. So, I got that information from Ask a Mortician. Caitlin Doughty is awesome. I love her channel. I'm going to link it below. I'll link the video below of her talking about the charges and what was done to the corpse. It was reported that the eyes were removed, and so I'm really curious, and this is maybe my autistic brain working, what happened to the eyes? Where are the eyes? Are they in a freezer somewhere? Are they going to do something with the eyes? Is there a plan? Are they going to make art with the eyes? Where are the eyes? Were they consumed? I don't know. There's also some concern that there was no cause of death. They had difficulty identifying the body. I don't even know if it has been identified at this point officially. I mean, they're saying that it's her and they're believing it's her, but the body was so decomposed that they couldn't get fingerprints off of it. So I don't know if they've used dental records or something else to, or DNA, or something else to identify her. But, and certainly there are family members. Her son has spoken out about his mother, who abandoned him when he was young, and she has sisters and a mom who's also spoken out about this. As I said, they were on the Dr. Phil show. So certainly DNA testing is possible, but one of the possible causes, she was hawking colloidal silver as a cure for the beer bug, which again I can't say. I really need to find the list of what I can and can't say on YouTube. But they're talking about colloidal silver, and this has been a new age remedy for a while. And I've heard about people changing skin color. There was a guy on Oprah who turned blue because he was drinking silver, and which is a metal and a toxic substance, and you should not be imbibing colloidal silver or any other type of medical or metal without medical intervention or medical doctor. So I think they are going to find that it wasn't this stage 5 cancer that took her life. I think they're going to find that it was an overdose of this colloidal silver. That's just my speculation. But yeah, weird stuff going on. And I think that this group does need to be watched more closely. I think that the family really does need to reach out to the members and continue to reach out, because I think they are in danger, not just of pulling a Heaven's Gate or Solar Temple end, but also of pulling the People's Church a la Jim Jones with this new leader. I think that there is high probability that this is going to turn very, very bad, as opposed to just petering out. So those are my thoughts on Love Has Won. If you're new to my channel, please do subscribe. I would love to have you. We talk about all sorts of cool stuff. Tarot, magic, personal development, social issues. This is obviously a social issue. But until I see you next, do take care, pumpkins. Peace.